It has been and continues to be unquestionably a warm and dry summer, but despite the fact that we've had a number of powerful high-pressure ridges build up into the Middle West and parts of the Great Plains, most agricultural regions have really avoided extreme agricultural drought. If anything, last summer was worse than this summer. We have had a lot of warm weather, and it's been generally warmer than average over most of the U.S., especially the agricultural areas east of the Rocky Mountains. And the scattered precipitation pattern that we've had this summer, fairly typical of summertime patterns. Storms are here and there, but not where you want them to be at the right times, is generally left areas with just enough rain to get by, or in, of course, some cases a little too much. Here is a look at the month of July and the percentage of normal rainfall. By normal, we mean the average over the last 30 years. The cool colors on the map, the blues and the greens, are where there's been more rainfall than what has fallen on average over the last 30 years. The yellows and the oranges are where it's been a little drier than average. It's been quite dry down in Texas, and of course the western United States continues to be in an extreme drought. And Texas is getting awfully dry, but it is summertime in Texas. Crops not as reliant on moisture. It's more winter crops down there or summer crops that are used to drought. You can see the evidence of those recent extreme floods, from the ones in St. Louis to the ones in eastern Kentucky to the ones that fell again down through southern Illinois. But that's really fairly an isolated thing. For the most part, moisture conditions are not that bad. It will continue to be warmer than average over the Corn Belt this week. A little bit of a brief dip this weekend into slightly cooler weather across the far north, but the general pattern is going to be mostly warmer than average. The real hot weather, the 90s, the hundreds, mostly 90s actually, is going to be down where hot weather is typically found this time of year in the southern and central states. That's not really going to be changing very much. We'll get a few forays of 90-degree weather and a few hot days up into the northern plains, but it looks like it's never really going to stick around and stay persistently that hot underneath this weather pattern. Moving into the second week, I really don't see a general change in the overall jet stream pattern. It will likely continue to be a warmer than average summer, Great Plains, Central Plains, most of the eastern Corn Belt, but not really for the most part unusually so. Precipitation this week will be scattered across the eastern Corn Belt. Southern Canada will continue to have a fairly wet year. It will continue to be fairly dry into the Great Plains, including a little drier than average in the northern Great Plains. And the second week of the period will continue to be quite dry, or at least drier than average, with the eastern part of the country remaining a little on the wet side. But if we can keep those timely rains coming, we should be okay rain-wise.